Let's talk more about your investment, and in fact, let's focus on your first salary. Receiving your first salary is always a special moment. One often has a list of things that they want to purchase or spend on their first salary, but this is also the age when you should be prudent with your money. The habits that you develop at this age often defines the kind of relationship you will have with money later all your life. So on the Money Show today, we have on board Harshvardhan Rugda, CFP Rugda Securities, to understand how Gen Zs can develop wise money habits. Good evening, Harsh, and welcome to the show. So a lot of things to remember today coming up for Gen Z especially, and who are also known for not following any rules. But then yes, we are going to give them a rule book or a guideline of what to do with their first salary. It's very exciting, and one has a lot of dreams with the first paycheck that they get in your hand. I'm sure you must have had for yourself also. But then it's also a very crucial stage because you need to set the tone of your money habits for the rest of your life. What should be your first step, or your first purchase, or maybe an investment?
Well, Kavita, you rightly pointed out that Gen Z is a very, very volatile age bracket. I mean, this is that generation which does not kind of believe in long-term savings. They only believe in instant gratification, if I may say so. So Gen Z essentially would be people who are born in late 90s and probably early 2000s. So invariably, there'll be those kind of people who are ready to get into work, or they must be just very early on in their professional career life already. So this is one of the best times to form good money habits. I mean, if you were to really organize yourself and get good financial habits, this is the best time to do that. So as a matter of rule, first thing that they can do is to ensure that whenever they get an income, okay, it could be in the form of a salary, could be in the form of a business or a professional income, whatever, if they're doing anything, first set aside a portion towards savings and investment, and the balance amount can be used to spend as you wish. Okay, so if you follow rule number one, which is just set aside a portion of your income, now this could be as little as say probably 20%, or it could go even higher, considering that at this age you will not have too many responsibilities. So you could possibly try and save as much as possible, allocate a percentage, and set that aside first when you get your income, and the balance amount can be used the way you wish to. Now, another thing that you need to be careful about is you need to create a balance between needs and wants. Okay, so every time you make a purchase, be mindful of the fact, is this what you need or is this what you want? And within that as
Exactly.
well.
Yeah.
So, like, now,
Yeah.
now within that as well, if I may talk about, you need a phone, okay, but you want an iPhone. So there's a difference between the two, right? You need a mobile phone, but you want an iPhone. So there has to be a balance between the two, and then you'll have to draw a line and then be mindful and buy accordingly.
Exactly. Harsh, if I remember correct, you also have two boys in your family, right? And they also fall in the age bracket of being a Gen Z. Now, I really want to know what's the kind of money rules or money habits you ensure that they are picking up.
Oh yeah. So I have 18-year-old son, and yes, he is in that bracket of Gen Z.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what we're trying to inculcate is, of course, good money habits, Kavita. So it's only about saying that whatever you get as your pocket money or whatever, try and set aside some portion of that first towards certain requirements. So it could be short term, could be things that he wishes to buy in the next couple of years. So it could be upgrading a mobile phone. So the instructions are such that, okay, if you're getting an X amount of money, if you want to upgrade into a new phone and you know it's going to be required after 2 to 3 years, then probably why not set aside some money towards it? There is one portion we're trying to inculcate as a habit to say that why don't you invest for retirement as a thought? So obviously, I got that kind of a Gen Z look on the face saying, I'm just like 18, 19 and I'm looking at retirement at this juncture. I mean, you got to be kidding me. So no, that's not the case. So in fact, there's a calculation that we try and, put forward to all those people who are even getting their first salary is that, the time is to your advantage. You have a huge asset to your side, which is time. And power of compounding can really work in your favor if you start early. Now, if I may, use an example, Kavita, with numbers. Okay, so there are two individuals, Ram and Sham. Okay, very popular Ram and Sham stories. And Ram and Sham both have just started working, going to get their first salary. Now, if you were to plan for retirement from your first salary, which is at probably your age of 24, 25, what difference it makes purely because of time to your side. So Ram, for example, at his age of 25, started putting aside 1,000 rupees every month for a period of 30 years. So at his age of 55, he would get, he's aiming to accumulate a corpus. Now, assuming this 1,000 rupees a month generates a return of about 14% annualized, at the age of 55, Ram is likely to have a corpus of 50 lakh rupees in his hand with a contribution of just 1,000 rupees every month. Now, on the other hand, Sham said, look, I kind of got my money right now. I don't care. It's 30 years retirement, too much to think about. I'm going to use my money the way I want. I'm going to have a good time. I'm not going to put aside this 1,000 rupees. And after 5 years, he starts after 5 years. So now he is 30 years of age and now he has 25 years to invest. Compared to Ram, who was investing for 30 years, Sham is going to invest only for 25 years now. The same 1,000 rupees started 5 years later and invested at the same rate, which is about 14%, assumed rate of 14%. At age of 55, where Ram would have 50 lakh of rupees, Sham, because he started 5 years later, his end corpus will reduce to 25 lakhs. Yes, the end corpus reduces by half, merely delaying that investment by 5 years. So the whole idea and and one lesson that Gen Z needs to get to themselves is that since you are in that position right now, which you have time to your side, ensure that you take the advantage of the compounding, the power of compounding, and use it to your advantage to create all your lifetime financial requirements. Just use it so that you can generate larger corpus with a less investment amount.
Right. So that's something all the Gen Zs needs to note down and inculcate healthy money habits. But then, Harsh, let's move on to our viewer queries now. And we have Bhanu Pratap online with us. Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Fine, madam.
All right, so you are doing your SIPs and you want to achieve a corpus of 5 crores and you also want to get your portfolio reviewed, which has Parag Parikh Flexi Cap, you have Quant Tax Plan, you have SBI Equity Hybrid, you have SBI Focused Equity, and recently you've added a Nippon Small Cap Fund also in your portfolio. All right, so I think we've got the question details with us. Harsh, over to you now.
So Kavita, all the schemes that he's investing into and the allocations seem fine. So I don't think there's any need to make changes to his portfolio. Now, with regards to the target, okay, so if we were to assume over 20 years he's aiming to accumulate a 5 crore rupees. So if we assume a rate of return of about 14% compounded, then he should reach at about 4.8 crores. So that's very close to his targeted sum of 5 crores. However, I would suggest that there are two variables in this. Of course, one is that we are assuming a rate of 14% annualized return. In case that doesn't happen, then of course you're going to be falling short of your target. So whenever it is possible, keep increasing your investment. So as you increase your investment, and in case the assumed rate of return is not achieved, then at least you're making up for that differential amount in return. Plus, you need to comfortably be ahead of above 5 crores. So in that case, please increase your investments whenever possible so that you take care of the assumed rate of return not being achieved and at the same time comfortably crossing the 5 crore market.
All right. Is there anything else, Mr. Bhanu Pratap, you want to ask Harsh?
No, in this mutual fund facility, I can increase the amount. That is the difference.
Can you please repeat your question?
I wanted to know if I wanted to increase a little bit amount, in which if I can go ahead to increase the amount.
Okay. All right, got it. Harsh, he wants to increase his investment amount. So in which fund he should be doing that?
Yeah, so in case you want to increase your investment amount, depending on the amount, as of now, I can see the SBI Focused Equity Fund. You can have some investments going into that. At the same time, the Parag Parikh Flexi. You could look at either or both of the schemes to increase your investments into.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bhanu Pratap. We move on. We have Mr. KD Pathak from Ranchi on the phone line with us. Hello, Mr. Pathak. Good evening. How are you doing?
Fine, ma'am.
Okay, so you have 22 years to retire and you've sent us your portfolio that has HDFC Multicap, PGI Midcap, Access Growth Opportunity, and you're investing 5,000 each from last 2 years and you want to invest more 10,000 and you need 35 lakhs after 10 years for your first child education and 35 lakhs after 17 17 years for your second child education, and then 35 lakhs after 25 years for your daughter's marriage, and 50,000 after retirement every month is what your requirement is. You also have NPS in your portfolio since 2020, and you want to understand what do you need to add, or maybe in terms of fund selection, have an exit strategy for any of these funds. Anything else you want to ask, Harsh, or that's the question and I can move on?
No, I think the question is pretty elaborate. If I may just have a look at this, that
Sure.
with a monthly investment of 25,000 rupees right now and an NPS investment of 10,000, I think in present value terms, if you're talking about the goals, he should be able to achieve them. Now, considering that he's such a meticulous investor where he noted down everything in timelines and the amount that he needs, I'm reasonably sure that Mr. Pathak will keep increasing his investments as the time goes by. So please do that, Mr. Pathak. As and when your income goes up and as and when possible, keep increasing your investments. Now, if I look at your portfolio, now Axis Growth Opportunity Fund has been underperforming for some time now. However, I would not like to write it off and put it under observation for another 6 months. So just continue with it. But however, look at the performance and evaluate whether you want to keep this or not after 6 months once again. With regards to allocating schemes to your goals, the question was, now you could earmark an HDFC multi-cap fund for your retirement purposes and increase the investment in that by 5,000 more. So you wanted to increase your investment as well. So that becomes 10,000 and earmark it for your retirement. With regards to your children's education and marriage purposes, I would suggest 3 schemes and make it as a common pool and collect money into these 3 schemes and use it out of these 3 schemes. So one is Axis Growth Opportunities, continue with 5,000. PGIM Mid Cap, continue with 5,000. Add one more scheme for the 5,000 that you want to increase your SIP with, that is Parag Parikh Flexi Cap. So your 10,000 that you want to increase, that will go into HDFC Multi Cap 5,000 and Parag Parikh Flexi Cap 5,000. Now, one thing important that you need to keep in mind is that your daughter's marriage is scheduled as per your timelines post your retirement. So these 3 schemes, you need to ensure that there is balance lying around in that until your daughter's marriage, because you don't want to dip into your NPS and HDFC multi-cap funds for your retirement purpose. So just ensure that you balance it out equally well. Do not, if possible, do not dip into your retirement corpus, because you do not have the opportunity to make it up again. Post-retirement, you will not have the opportunity to build up your retirement corpus all over again. So keep that insulated and separate and manage all your educational and marriage requirements out of the 3 other schemes that I have referred.
All right, that will be all. Thank you so much, Harsh, for being on the show today and helping our viewers with their financial portfolio queries. And on that note, it's a wrap on the Money Show today, but then I'm going to leave you with our WhatsApp number and our email ID, where you have to send us your portfolio related queries. Thank you so much for watching today. Goodbye.